Later that year, the Will Maston Trio caught a break. The act was hired to open at one of the first big hotels in Las Vegas, El Rancho Vegas, for $500 a week. Sammy was thrilled to be playing Vegas for the first time, but his joy quickly turned to anger.
I can imagine $500 a week back in those days. Had to feel like you was a millionaire.
You could not walk through the front. This is in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you could not eat in the restaurant. Forget gambling. There was no, you couldn't get up to a table. They wouldn't allow you in the casino.
By night, Sammy, Big Sam, and Will Maston packed in white crowds at the El Rancho. By day, the trio stayed in the town's segregated black neighborhood. The racism only seemed to motivate Sammy.
Sammy did not just perform. He did not just entertain. Sammy really wanted to pulverize an audience. He wanted to leave them limp. He wanted to be the funniest, the fastest, the most talented. Sing louder, sing higher, sing more.
In November 1949, Frank Sinatra hired the Will Maston Trio to perform at the Capitol Theater in New York.
He said, you know what I want? There's a kid that works with his father and his uncle. And he said, get them. And they said, Frank, we get the Nicholas brothers, the Berry brothers. He said, no, his name is Sam. I want him. And so he found him. He said, okay, what do you want to pay him? He said, give him $1,500. He said, $1,500? He said, you can get the Nicholas brothers for that. He said, give him $1,500.
During the run, Sammy sat backstage and studied every one of Frank's performances. Offstage, Sinatra made a point of hanging out with Sammy and giving him advice. Frank's widow, Barbara Sinatra.
I think that he really didn't know Sammy was black or white or green or whatever.
And I was just about to say that. I'm starting to think that Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra's friendship was golden. Frank Sinatra did not see color. He saw business. That's it.
And nor did Sammy know that Frank was white. They were like brothers.
I wanted to be like him. I wanted to dress like him. I wanted to look like him, you know.
The prestige of sharing the bill with Sinatra helped the trio land another major gig. In March 1950, they were set to open for Janice Page at the Sunset Strip nightclub, Ciro's. George Schlatter was a show producer for Ciro's.
Janice Page had been appearing in Pajama Game in New York, and she was the biggest thing on stage in New York.
The run was launched with a midnight show following the Academy Awards. That night, the audience was packed with A-list stars.
Sammy hit that stage like a battalion of Green Berets. You've never seen anything like it in your life. He opened with a 30-foot knee slide, and he did tap dancing like nobody had ever seen. They talk about Bojangles. Forget about it. I mean, Sammy actually tore up the floor, and then he sang straight, and then he played instruments. He played everything but his coat. And the audience sat there in just shock, disbelief. They couldn't believe what they were saying. And Janice Page, poor child, was waiting in the hallway outside, waiting to go on. And
can you imagine someone being multi-talented like that without zero training? Zero. Let me know in the comments if you know anybody like that.
Never got on. Sammy was supposed to do 15 minutes, and he did about an hour 10. She opened the show after that, and everybody then realized you just did not try to follow Sammy Davis Jr.
Coming up.
He was panicking. What's a one-eyed singer-dancer going to do on a stage?
And later,
Sammy tried to be Frank. He tried to drink more, smoke more, stay up later, more women, more booze, more laughs.
In March 1950, 24-year-old Sammy Davis Jr. stepped on stage at Ciro's in Hollywood and changed the course of his career. Davis was no longer the junior member of the Will Maston Trio. He was a headliner. Soon after the performance at Ciro's, the Will Maston Trio starring Sammy Davis Jr. was signed by the powerful William Morris Agency. The talent agency booked the trio into major clubs around the country and upped their asking price to $1,250 a week. The trio also broke into television. debuting on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1951.
The first Sullivan show I did, Ed Sullivan said, here he is. You're really, really exciting. Let's bring them out here. The kid, watch this kid in the middle. You know. He said, he's really good. The Will Marston Trio, and keep your eye on the little guy. I'm waiting for him to say Sammy Davis Jr., right? He never said it.
Another big break came in the fall of 1952 when the trio was invited to appear on NBC's Colgate Comedy Hour, hosted by comedian Eddie Cantor. Biographer Bert Boyer.
And Eddie Cantor was as big as you can be in his day. He was Mr. Television then.
Like Ed Sullivan, Cantor was a rarity, a white star who was willing to share his stage with black performers. Director Arthur Penn worked as floor manager for the Colgate Comedy Hour.
It was not customary yet that black people were on television with any degree of frequency.
Cantor actually took a professional risk by inviting black performers on the air.
Sammy finished performing, and Eddie Cantor mopped Sammy's face, and the hate mail came in, something awful. How dare you wipe that face with your good, clean, white handkerchief, and I'm not going to watch your show anymore. And the sponsors began buckling under this pressure, and they said, hey, that's bad. We don't want that, and we don't want any trouble, and, you know. And Cantor said, you don't want any trouble, then you don't have me. This man is going to be on my show.
Backstage, Cantor gave Davis a mezuzah to wear around his neck. The comedian explained that the Jewish amulet represents the Word of God. Davis never took the mezuzah off. The following spring, the trio headlined at the Copacabana in New York, although the black members of the audience had to sit in the balcony. At $5,000 per week, the Will Maston Trio starring Sammy Davis Jr. became the highest paid black act since Bill Bojangles Robinson.
$5,000 a week. Oh my God. Can you imagine making $5,000 a week today? Boy, the crazy thing about it is it's money back then. And it's still money today. Nothing's changed.
The trio was invited to play the Frontier Hotel in Las Vegas in November 1954. Sammy felt he had enough clout to make a radical demand.
Sammy agreed to go into the Frontier if he could stay in the hotel, if black people were allowed to see him in the hotel.
Amazingly, the hotel's management agreed, and they even met the trio's asking price of $7,500 per week. The deal also included comped suites, drinks, and food.
Nobody played Vegas at that point for more than a week or 10 days. And I booked Sammy into the Frontier for about 4 weeks. And that was a dangerous thing to do because there was a very, very heavy color line in Vegas.
Sammy had the run of the hotel. That was just the beginning of really making it.
Life was indeed sweet. Decca Records had just signed Davis to his first long-term recording contract.
He went from $5,000 a week to $7,500 a week and able to stay in the hotels that he was not able to stay in once before. Oh my God. He was breaking barriers that I knew nothing about. Let me know in the comments if you know someone that was lucky enough to see him perform live. I've only got to see him in movies and TV shows and old clips like this. Man, I wish I got to see him. But as always, tell me your thoughts about this video. Be sure to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.